Hello and welcome to the iRacing Fantasy National Series. Live tonight for race number 3 of the playoffs from Dover International Speedway. We want to welcome you to tonight's stream here live on V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker. I will be your commentator here for tonight's event. Sponsored by Rapid Fired Pizza and Shorba's iRacing Paints. Big shout out to those guys for sponsoring tonight's event. Drivers now just finishing up their practice session, and they're going to be heading into qualifying, but we got to get through a few things here before we can see where these guys start tonight. We want to take a look at our playoff grid coming into the race here, this being the last race of the first round. A lot riding on this race for these drivers. We take a look at the top 12 in the playoffs. Only the top 8 will advance from tonight's event, and 7 of those 8 positions up for grabs. Some of these drivers will be locked in by the first stage, I think. Carl Dodson pretty safe up there. Chris James is the only one technically locked in. And Cole Early pretty much needs a win scenario here. It's a must-win scenario as he's out on track, actually putting down his qualifying lap. He gets into the wall there coming off of pit road, so he's going to have to go back out there and give it another shot. But right on the cut line, Rick Webb just 2 points above Greg Klein. And it's going to be close between those guys. Going to have to keep an eye on them as Greg Klein is in the race here. I don't know if Rick Webb is out on track as well. So we'll keep an eye on those drivers, and we'll bring up the ticker here so you can see where they slot in with their times. Webb already getting a lap in at 23:14, but that is second to Carl Dodson. He runs actually Jay Queen now. Webb dropping down the standings there. But on the points side of things, Tater Bowman below the cut line, and I do not see him here in tonight's race, so he is going to be eliminated after winning earlier this season at the road course, Mid-Ohio. He is going to be eliminated based on not showing up tonight. Cole Early is here. He still has a shot. Roger Gregory also on the outside looking in, and he is here tonight. Greg Klein also in the field like we mentioned. He's currently 5th on the boards. Evan Longacre, Jay Queen also fairly close to the cut line. Longacre a little bit more of an advantage as he's right up there with Grayson Sullivan and Chad Ginnigsman. And all those drivers relatively safe. As long as they get a solid run tonight, they should move on. So really it's 7th on back where all the action is going to be in the points tonight. And if you're not familiar with the racetrack here at Dover, it is a 1 mile track. They call it the Monster Mile. High Bank Speedway, high speed racetrack. As we take a look at Dylan Canova, who is out here making his first lap. It can be pretty tricky here coming out of turn 4 as the cars really come up in elevation and coming from the banking up onto the lesser banked straightaways. These cars get very upset, and this concrete surface can get pretty slick here depending on the temperature. And tonight's race, 94 degrees. And the track tonight, as you see the 39 of Canova get a little sideways, but he's able to hang on to it and puts in a great lap. Actually goes to the top of the boards, beating Evan Longacre by 12 thousandths of a second. But pretty low air temp here. I would expect the track temp to drop just a little bit by the end of the race. So they'll have a little bit more grip in their race cars tonight as we continue to watch Canova, who now pulls it down to the entrance pit road. Now Tyler White out on his flying lap. Gonna try and put a time in here. This will be his flyer. And the number 93 machine looking pretty solid right now. We'll see how he does. This is the trickier end of the track. So he gets on the apron just a little bit, but able to keep it going as he tags the wall. That lap is not going to count. Would have been a decent one. That would have put him actually about 17th, so maybe not what he was looking for. But just 1 minute left in qualifying, so we're going to cut quickly to commercial break so you can check out some of our sponsors here tonight, and we'll be right back with the starting grid. We also want to give a shout out to Shorba's iRacing Paints. You can check them out over on Facebook. Just hit up Shorba's iRacing Paints if you're looking for your own custom race scheme. Jacob Shorba creates professionally made schemes for your race car at an affordable price. So head on over there, Facebook. Shorba's iRacing Paints. Another sponsor here tonight. As we head back to the track now. The field starting to get up here on pit road. Getting ready to begin tonight's event. And let's run through our starting grid here at the Monster Mile. On the pole, it's Dylan Canova, that number 39 machine. Great lap time there, 22.51, and he takes the top spot. So congratulations to Dylan Canova. Evan Longacre going to be rolling off in the second position here tonight. So good lap by Evan as well, as he will sit on that front row here to get us going. Jeffrey Meyer going to roll off in third position. Chad Ginningsman going to be rolling off in the fourth position. He's looking for a good run here tonight, coming in the playoff picture. Roger Gregory needs a good run. He's going to be starting in fifth. Carl Dodson, who is all but locked in, going to be starting in sixth position. Jake Silva starting in seventh here. Jay Queen going to be rolling off eighth. Greg Klein starting in ninth, and Cole Early, who is at the bottom of the playoffs in a must-win scenario, going to roll off here in the 10th position. Grayson Sullivan going to be rolling off in 11th. Jim Walton going to be starting 12th here. Calvin Vanderhyde 13th. Cody Jordan 14th. Brandon Masajewski going to be rolling off 15th. And Aaron Tyner going to be rolling off in 16th position. Rick Webb going to be starting in the 17th spot here tonight. Barry Stevens rolling off in 18th. In 19th, it's Cole Hooper, and rounding out the top 20 is going to be Zach Adams in that number 4 machine. In 21st, it's Hilton Young. 22nd, going to be Chris James in that 1 machine, your points leader, and he is locked into round number 2. Jacob Shorba going to be rolling off in the 23rd position. Charles Hager showing in 24th here. Dakota Jorgensen, who had a great run last week at the Roval, he's going to be starting in 25th position. Austin Gacchione going to be rolling off 26th. Stephen Parks going to be rolling off in that 27th spot. Noah Allison, a newcomer here, going to be rolling off in 28th position. Tyler White rolling off in 29th, and Alan Hunt going to round out the top 30. And rounding out our field here is Joshua Schofield in 31st position. So 31 drivers here tonight. Looks like maybe a couple of them not taking to the grid. So we're going to keep an eye here now on the front of the field. Dylan Canova, Evan Longacre going to have control of the start of the race here. And they should be getting the green flag this time, I believe, as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. And we are about to get underway here for the final race in round 1 of the iRacing Fantasy National Series playoffs. Canova on the pole here, control of the start, waiting for that green flag. And Dylan Canova going to get us going. Evan Longacre got a little bit of a jump there as he gives up that spot now. Going to try and fall into line here. The 8 machine going to slot in there into second right now, though. That is Jeffrey Meyer. Good start by that driver as the field makes their way out of turn 2. Clean and green for the first half lap. And Dylan Canova now trying to stretch out a lead. He's got 2 or 3 car lengths over those guys. And we see Ginningsman into the wall, the 16 machine. That stacks him up here going down into turn number 1. That number 12 gets tapped from the 19. Greg Klein, one of your playoff drivers, he gets slammed into by the 68 of Jim Walton. And Walton going to have heavy damage. The 12 machine not going to be in great shape as we are under caution already here at the Monster Mile. And let's go take a look exactly at that. 16, a little trouble there. Then the 12 went in really low, had to slow up a little bit, and the 19 just did not check up there. Grayson Sullivan gonna have some nose damage on that K&N machine. He dove in there pretty hard and obviously did not check up for the 12, who entered much lower than he should. The 68, Walton, really nowhere for him to go. It's the 12 just right there in front of him, and can't slow up all that much. But that brings out caution number 1 here on lap 2 of tonight's event. Dylan Canova, your leader. And we want to thank you for tuning in here to V-Speed. If you haven't been here before, we broadcast the iRacing Fantasy Series as well as the Norse Force Racing League. And we also broadcast the Ford Entertainment Group iRacing Flea Market Series on Mondays. You can check us out here live about 4 days a week on Twitch. And if you like what you've seen so far here tonight in these just couple laps at qualifying, consider following and subscribing here on Twitch. You can also check us out on YouTube, where we post race replays, and that's where we broadcast the FEG series on Mondays. So give us a subscribe over there. We would really appreciate the support. Also, if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week, just head on over to Facebook, where we post announcements before each and every race throughout the week. You can also check us out on Instagram as well as Twitter, where we post special announcements and new merchandise ahead of time. So check us out on those platforms, give us a like, and we would really appreciate that. But back to the track here, just circling under caution, and be a good time now to point out that there are going to be 3 stages in tonight's race. Lap 25 going to be the end of stage number 1, lap number 50 going to be the end of stage 2, and then, of course, lap 100, the end of the race. So hopefully these guys can get a little green flag action here in stage 1. You can get moving and click off some laps here. They can be pretty fast under green, about 22, 23-second laps. And then towards the end of the run, I think we're up in the 24s. But can click them off pretty quickly here. The field just circling under caution right now. Might be getting the 1 to go this next time by, as it looks like they're starting to get ready to go double file. And not sure if Canova is going to elect to take the high line or not. He's currently riding up there. And it is hard to get a launch out of turn 4 here at this racetrack, so we'll have to see what line works here on the restarts. Now with a few laps on the tires. And pace car lights are off, so we're going to be getting the green flag this next time by. And we didn't do it right at the start, but shout out your favorite driver in the race tonight. Put them in the chat here, and we'll try and follow along with them throughout the event. Also comment who you think is going to win here at the Monster Mile tonight, and we'll try and keep an eye on them. So Canova out in front, going to have control on this restart once again. Jeffrey Meyer now going to be on the inside of this restart, so Canova is electing to take the high line, which might be a good choice here. He might have a little bit more grip. There's a little bump coming out of turn 4 here, down on that low line, a little dip that's tough to get grip in, and I think the 8's going to struggle here. This pace car makes its way onto pit road. We're going to be back underway here in just a second as the field works their way out of turn 4. Canova, good launch up high. Everybody gets going, a little spin of the tires from that second row. Evan Longacre really having trouble getting up to speed as they're 3 wide now. And Longacre going to drop straight back to 6th position, and we'll bring up our ticker here so you can follow along with your favorite drivers. This guy's shuffling for position now, making their way down the back straightaway. Evan Longacre feeling the pressure of Cole Early and Cody Jordan behind him. Cole Early, of course, in a must-win scenario here as he's down low, or now passes the 6 machine on the high line. And he's going to try and attack the 35 right there. Trying to make his way forward. He's that number 22 up 2 spots from where he started already. As Dylan Canova now stretching away from Jeffrey Meyer up to 0.4 of a second in front. Carl Dodson about as fast as your leader though. He comes in second in points and really just needs to finish tonight's race to make it to the next round. As he tags the wall coming out of turn 4, that's going to slow him up. Here comes Roger Gregory closing in. Gregory needing a good run as well as he comes in 11th in points, so below the cut line, but not by much. Just about 20 points, not even 18 points. So he's looking for some stage points here to close that gap up. And we're almost halfway through stage number 1. We've got Alec in chat here, or Alex in chat cheering for the number 4 machine. Zach Adams. He's working on the back bumper of Chad Genningsman, who started up towards the front with the 16. Slammed the wall there. Is now we got to check up the 01 machine of Schofield. Almost tagged the wall there, and behind them we saw a little stack up. I think Hilton Young almost tagged the wall. As he's racing side by side with Greg Klein, who got caught up in that first incident. Jim Walton back here still trying to get that car around this racetrack, but he has got heavy damage and going to bring it back down pit road. Meanwhile, Canova now almost a second out in front of Jeffrey Meyer. Carl Dodson once again playing with that wall. He's very close to it on exit. Oh, as he gets it that time, here comes the 38 one more time. Big run behind him, but not quite enough as he probably checked up, not knowing what's going to happen with the 7 after he makes contact there. Gregory looking a little bit more stable, and the 7 looks like it's a little bit tight at this point in the race. Evan Longacre working on the back bumper of Jake Sylvia. The 48 going to go back down to the low side now. He goes way down the track as, oh, there's Dodson, a big issue on the front straightaway. Oh, he got extremely loose, slammed that inside wall, and he looks like he might have broken the steering on that Camaro. So early trouble here for Carl Dodson, one of your playoff contenders. Dodson gonna have to bring it to pit road here, I think. Try and get the steering fixed on that race car. And now Roger Gregory moves into 3rd, and he's got clear track up in front of him, starting to close in on Jeffrey Meyer. It's an 8 Budweiser machine. And at the tail end of the top 10 here, Chris James now moving into the 10th position, up from 22nd at the start of this race. And he was last week's winner at the Rovo, leading every lap. And had a solid run in the Cup Series as well last Saturday. So Chris James looking for another win here if he can get it. He's already locked in, but he wants to be able to knock somebody out. As the 42 behind him, big push there coming out of the corner. And he is under fire from Barry Stevens, the 66 Netflix machine. He's trying to move up into that 11th position. The 42 has it. Field's starting to go single file now, though, and that is probably going to be like that for quite a while tonight, as it can get tough to pass as the tires start to wear. 77 of Stephen Parks. Looks like he's struggling a little bit now with Grayson Sullivan right to his inside. Here comes the 19, who charges through the center of the corner, and see if they can make it out of here alive. They do. Still side by side down the back straightaways. Parks pulling him just a little bit to be able to clear him if he wanted, but he's continuing to ride that middle line. And this is a scary part right here out of turn 4. Almost like going out of turn 2 at Darlington. It just, the wall closes in so quickly. And the car pushes to the out as Rick Webb now getting passed in front of these two. Cole Hooper going to move up to the 16th position. And Webb is dropping. He needs a good run tonight. The 19 wiggle down low. And Webb now under attack from Stephen Parks, who really dives it into the corner. And Parks going to try and take that position away. He will. Sets his sights onto Cole Hooper, that 14 machine, who's now lost a spot to Grayson Sullivan. Up here, Jake Sylvia in the 5th position. Take a look from his race car as he looks forward. That's Evan Longacre just up in front. Got Lewis in chat cheering for the number 9 machine. That is Dakota Jorgensen as he is approaching Calvin Vanderhyde, who must have had a problem there. This is for the 11th position. Jorgensen now takes it. So they race side by side. Caution is out on the speedway. Looks like quite a few cars involved on the front straightaway, including our playoff contender, the number 59 of Rick Webb. We also see the 4 of Zach Adams, the 17 of Noah Allison, and the 12 of Greg Klein caught up in another one. Let's go take a look. It looks like contact between the 12 and the 59. A couple playoff contenders here, as Rick just kind of washes up out of the corner into Klein. The 4 car involved in this. He was trying to hang on to it. That tags the 68. And not sure what happened with the 17 here, how he got involved. Just coming out of the corner and trying to check up. Might have just locked him up a little too hard. Oh, that gap closed on him. The 93 machine really destroyed Tyler White. Just nowhere to go. He barely hit the 12. That's going to end his race here as he takes it down to the garage. And meanwhile, the field making their way onto pit road. Noah Allison electing to stay out here. Dylan Canova, though, brings all of them down, as that is going to do it, actually, for stage number 1. We weren't able to catch what the order was there. But I believe Canova wins the stage. But he's not going to win the battle off pit road, as Jeffrey Meyer is going to win that battle. And that is going to lead us to our first stage break. We're going to be right back with the green flag. All right, and we are back at the iRacing Fantasy National Series Dover 100, presented by Rapid Fired Pizza. Thank you, Alex C199, for your subscription. Thank you so much for supporting V-Speed. You now have access to exclusive emotes as these guys about to get underway. Jeffrey Meyer out in front. And back under green here at the Monster Mile. Bring up our ticker here so you can follow along with your favorite driver. Jeffrey Meyer out in front. Canova slots into second, and Roger Gregory now into that third spot. Evan Longacre in fourth here, and Chris James now up inside the top five. That one machine on a mission to win another race here. But he takes over fifth from Aaron Tyner, that 60 Fastenal machine in that sixth position now. And Jorgensen moving forward as well up to seventh position. So those Junior Motorsports machines now sitting first, fifth, and seventh. Doing a good job here in the early stages of this race. And we got Juniors Racing in chat cheering for Chris James, and he is definitely moving here, up 17 spots from where he started here, just 30 laps into the race. So definitely one to keep our eye on, as he dominated last week. And another guy to keep your eye on, the 22 machine, Cole Early, who has damage on the right side of that race car. He is in a must-win scenario tonight. We'll see if he can do it, but looking like he's probably going to be eliminated unless he can definitely grab a win. Now Stephen Parks getting passed up. Grayson Sullivan moves up into the 11th spot. Parks back to 12th. Chad Ginningsman trying to recover after he started up inside the top five. He's got right front damage. And the 22 machine starting to lose positions now as he's up in the high line. And they're going to try and shuffle on by, but the 22 trying to close the door. Not going to happen. He almost makes contact. Oh, he does. Cody Jordan able to hang on to that. But it's going to be an interesting turn three here as Chad Ginningsman through the middle. And the 91 machine up high, but the 16 a wiggle there in the middle of the corner. And now Jordan takes 13th back, and that could have ended in disaster for many of these drivers. But they were able to sort it out. Now the 42 of Vanderheide looks like he is struggling in that 42 Camaro, as he's going to have the 14 take a look underneath. Take a look at Rick Webb, who's caught up in that last one. He's making a move now on Hilton Young out of turn number 4. The 59 goes down the track, and cloud cover is out. But already halfway through stage number 2. As that's going to end on lap number 50. Now Dylan Canova out in front, 6.5 tenths over Jeffrey Meyer. And the battle heating up for third as Evan Longacre looking to the inside of Roger Gregory. Trying to see if he can take that position away. And with caution back out on the speedway. Looks like the 22 machine involved in this. Cole Early, a must-win scenario. In trouble here, looking like he's going to have his shot at round 2 taken away. Let's go take a look at what happened here. And we're taking a look with the 22. And I think the contact happened here out of turn 4 with Early down low, the 91 up high. A little tap out of the corner. The 22 goes down into the inside wall. And, oh, he gets slammed into by the 4 machine of Zach Adams, who just did not get on the brakes there. Let's go to his nose cam and see if we can find out if somebody was blocking him from what had happened up in front. You can see the car sitting there on the track, and he just doesn't make the decision to go low. And that car is going to be destroyed as he is on pit road. And your leaders now making their way down the pit lane, along with multiple lap cars. We're going to see who wins the battle off here, as it seems like track position is incredibly important, at least for the restarts. Canova has been able to get away. As Evan Longacre very slow into his box. Service being done to many of these cars. Not sure if anybody took 2. Looks like a few of them possibly taking 2 tires. But Jeffrey Meyer going to win the battle off of pit road. Let's go back to the number 8 machine here, Jeffrey Meyer, who has led some laps. We're going to pull him up into the booth if we can and try and get a word in with the driver of the number 8. Let's see if we can find him in here. Jeffrey Meyer, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Jeffrey, you've been running very strongly out there, been up inside the top 2 pretty much the entire race now. How is the car feeling for you out here?
Feels really good. Just Dylan's got a little more speed than I do, I think.
Yeah, you've been really the only one to challenge him so far in the first half of this race, and we see your teammates Chris James and Dakota Jorgensen also making their way forward. So you guys work pretty hard on the setup here this past week?
Yep, we put. I know I put about 300 laps in just practicing.
Yeah, and what's kind of the key to getting around this place tonight with kind of a high track temp? Is it pretty slick out there, or are you pretty planted in the groove?
It's not bad now. It was slick when it was, you know, closer to 100, but now that it's down a little bit, feels really good. You know, depends how you drive it, you can get it loose.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. It's a tricky track, but you're doing a good job out there, and you've got the lead on this next restart. So we'll see if you can get away from these guys. But until you guys get going, one more question. What is your favorite rapid-fired pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
All right. Classic. Good choice, and good luck for the rest of the race.
All right, thanks.
All right, that was driver of the number 8, Jeffrey Meyer, who is your leader, with the pepperoni pizza topping being his choice. And that's a question we've been asking a lot of the drivers here with our sponsor, Rapid Fired Pizza. Check these guys out. Not what we wanted to do. Put the link down in the chat there so you can check those guys out. And to answer Lewis's question, with the stage caution, we've had 2 other wrecks that have brought out the yellow. Tonight we've had 3 lead changes at the front as well. So been pretty clean so far. Couple quick wrecks though, and we're about to go green one more time. Jeffrey Meyer going to be the control car here on this restart. See what kind of a jump he can get with Canova now on the outside, the 8 on the inside. We've seen Canova try and launch from the high line. Is Meyer a good restart? He's going to get out in front by about 2-3 car lengths. And Dylan Canova going to slot down there into second as Chris James making his way forward now up on the high line. Going to try and make it around Gregory on that high line. He's going to do it here down the back straightaway. Chris James up into third all the way from 22nd. And his teammate here, Dakota Jorgensen, now challenging for a top 5 position as they go side by side out of the corner. Oh, very close to the wall. But he's going to clear Evan Longacre, and now Cody Jordan to the back bumper of the 48. Almost contact between those two, and Longacre has to wash up the track to give him room. But Evan Longacre going to hang on to 6th position now as Cody Jordan making that move. He's under pressure from Aaron Tyner. 60 and 35 side by side. The 60 is going to take that spot. 35 going to try and pull a crossover here. And he will look to the back bumper, but not going to make it happen just yet. It seems like the fast line around here is somewhat the middle line, but Jeffrey Meyer now losing the lead. Dylan Canova going to take that over. Here comes Chris James powering down to the inside of his teammate and trying to grab that second spot. A little bit of contact, I think, between the Junior Motorsports machines, but closing in on the end of stage 2. It's getting exciting, and Chris James is charging, trying to capture another win here. Up 20 spots here in the first 43 laps as he finally captures that position away from his teammate. And the battle is on here for 5th still. Dakota Jorgensen actually looking to try and take 4th away and solidify his position in the playoffs with a few extra points here. Well, we've got a few other guys racing up back here. Barry Stevens under pressure from Grayson Sullivan. These guys just out of the stage points. And they are going to look to try and capture something. It looks like Cody Jordan lost a few positions here, back to the 10th spot in that Wrangler Supra. As they continue to pace their way around here. Dylan Canova stretching away. Chris James now 1.2 seconds behind. And his teammate Jeffrey Meyer right on the back bumper. They're actually battling it out once again, so maybe Chris James with a mistake. As Meyer takes that position back away. Going to set his sights forward on the leader, but Chris James still a hard charge so far. And a very fast race car, that is for sure, but Canova really the class in the field tonight, leading the majority of the laps. And just a few to go here in stage number 2. Stephen Parks trying to hang on to this 8th spot. He's got Jake Sylvia right behind him, along with Cody Jordan just inside the top 10. And we're side by side. Barry Stevens, Grayson Sullivan. Looks like Stevens hit the wall out of turn 4. And he loses a few positions. Cole Hooper down on the apron, hanging on to it though. He was really sideways there. Good job by the 14 to not lose control of that race car. Now on 3 to go. It's going to be at the end of lap 50 that we get the stage. And we'll run through our results there when that happens. But Canova, actually it's going to be the end of next lap now. Canova out in front by 1.5 seconds. Jeffrey Meyer starting to close in a little bit. Yeah, ran about a 1/10.5 faster, along with Chris James, who ran a little bit faster. So I think those junior motorsports machines a little bit quicker on the long run as we're coming to stage completion. The stage caution now out as we actually had a wreck on the front straightaway involving the 01 of Schofield, 91 of Massajuski, who tows it to pit road. And the 59 Rick Webb caught up in this one, and Charles Hager as well. So let's take a look at what happened here. So we are looking on with Brandon Massajuski. 16 of Stevens up the track. The 91, a little tap there from the 42, but he comes back up the track here. Contact with Rick Webb, and oh, he gets sent onto his roof. Barrel rolling down the front straightaway. A brutal wreck for the 91, and Joshua Schofield as well, just slammed right into him. This will be an interesting view here as you see that car down there, and then the 01 just drives right into the back of him. And the 91, wow, he broke the game. Absolutely just destroyed. Oh, and he ended up on his roof. That's what happened. Unfortunate for the 91. That's a hard wreck as the field making their way down pit road now. Canova into his box. Oh, we see the 38 have to back up there. We'll see if anybody tries the 2 tires. It hasn't been used just yet. As we see the 8 machine, Jeffrey Meyer. No, I don't know who that is. Oh, it's the 4 machine of Zach Adams, 16 laps off the pace. He is back on track now, but Canova wins the battle off pit road. Jeffrey Meyer second, Chris James third, Dakota Jorgensen fourth. So those junior motorsports machines in second, third, fourth right now, but see if they have anything to contend with Canova out front. Let's give a call up to Mr. Chad Ginningsman here. See if we get a hold of him and see what's going on with that number 16 machine. Chad Ginningsman, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Adam.
Well, Chad, you started up there in the top 5. It looked like you made a little contact with the right side of the car to the wall, and you've lost some track position, but you still have some speed in that thing to get it back?
I don't think I have a winning car. It's a little bit too tight the first 5 laps. That's kind of what helped me get into the wall, but I think I'll be able to get up to the top 10 or top 5 for sure, but points is looking decent, so not really too worried other than keeping it clean for now.
Yeah, you come in here, it looks like 5th in points and pretty solidly ahead of the cut line, so you're not feeling the pressure at all here, it being the last race of this round?
Not too much, because I know 2 of the Penske cars are already out, so that makes it a little bit easier. And then I think I got a 19-point gap over Rick Webb, so I'm thinking I'm okay, but really just trying to bring it home clean at this point.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. And how is the track here tonight with the warmer temps? Are you sliding around at all, or you said you're pushing kind of out of the corner, and does it come around as the run goes on?
Yeah, as the run goes on, it comes around. I think right now I'm on the splitter, so it takes about 5 laps before my tires heat up and I kind of get the front off the ground. So I think if we get a long run here, I can probably start making a charge.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. We'll keep our eyes on here for the rest of the race, so good luck, and hopefully we talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Number 16, Chad Ginningsman here in 12th position. Started up in the top 5 and see if he can make his way forward once again. A little bit of damage on that race car, but he's been very solid and finds his way. Usually grab a few more positions in the second half of these races, so I expect to see him up inside the top 10 here before it's all said and done. But another driver I expect to see up in front, that 39 machine. He's been running so well here in this league, and tonight he's had just a dominant race car, leading 42 of the 53 laps that have been completed. And we just passed the halfway point, so if you didn't comment in the chat who you think's going to win or your favorite driver, let us know so we can follow along. As Canova going to be the control car here, he elects to take the outside line one more time. Field making their way out of turn 4. Pace car is on pit road. And Canova early launch there, and he gets a good jump, as well as Dakota Jorgensen. We are back underway at the Monster Mile, the iRacing Fantasy National Series Dover 100. Brought to you by Rapid Fired Pizza. As Jorgensen a little tight out of the corner there. He's not able to hold that spot off from Evan Longacre, who goes down to the inside, along with Aaron Tyner, going to take over 5th position, but I don't think he cleared him. He now clears him as they race up behind him, the 38 and the 35. Battling it out for 7th and 8th, but the 35 of Cody Jordan going to win that battle. And, Jordan seems like that car is pretty good on the first couple laps, and then it seems like it gets away from him as he loses spots deeper into the run. Now Grayson Sullivan battling it out here. Or I'm sorry, that was Stephen Parks and Cole Hooper. Parks up on the high line. Hooper still down low. He keeps clipping that apron in turn 2, but somehow able to hang on to it. But it's fun to watch when that thing steps sideways and he's trying to hang. But very tight out of the corner. Big run though. He's going to actually get back underneath Stephen Parks and try and challenge him for this spot. Jay Queen waiting in hindsight here. Just waiting for those two to figure this out, and he can find his way through with whoever makes it past. Coming out of turn 4, they're still side by side. Hooper not going to be able to do it this time, and Stephen Parks going to be able to hang on to that spot. Racing it up for 12th and 13th position. Meanwhile, at the front, Canova out front. Jeffrey Meyer in 2nd. Just a look back from Canova here. Decent gap as he is kind of diamonding or double apexing these corners. Kind of goes down low. At least in 1 and 2, he goes low, drifts up, and cuts back down. Running a pretty standard line, though, in 3 and 4 right now. Now he chooses the middle line, as I think Roger Gregory might have had an issue there. He loses a bunch of spots. Jake Sylvia now challenging for that 9th position. And we are back under caution here. Possibly the 4 machine, Zach Adams. Looks like he lost it on the front straightaway here. Let's go take a look. And I think he just clipped the apron down here in turn 4, and it looped around on him. Yep, just steps out. And no nose on that car, so he hits pretty much completely with the radiator, and we'll see if he can continue. He starts rolling again, but that car heavily damaged, and he's already 17 laps off the pace, so that is the cause for that caution. Caution number 5 here on lap number 61. And Canova leading the field down pit road. Entire field making their way down and heading towards their boxes. And nobody electing to stay out here. So once again, I have yet to see anyone try a 2-tire strategy, and I think if there's any time to do it, it's either now or on the next caution. See Chris James already making his way down. See where he gets out here. He's going to come out 3rd behind Canova and Meyer. Evan Longacre going to come out 4th. Cody Jordan 5th. Aaron Tyner comes out in that 6th position. Issues for Dakota Jorgensen. Not sure what happened with the number 9 machine. But a long pit stop. And he's back in the 17th spot, so one of the fan favorites out here tonight could be having issues early, or I guess late in this race. And he's pretty secure in his points right now. Still should try and get up there and get a few more spots before it's over. Meanwhile, we want to give another shout out to Shorba's iRacing Paints. You can check them out over on Facebook. If you want to get your own custom paint scheme for any of the NASCARs here, you can contact Jacob on Shorba's iRacing Paints, and he can get you hooked up with a professionally made custom paint scheme for an affordable price. And he provides so many schemes for the drivers here in the league, and that is why so many of these cars look great each and every race. Also, if you're enjoying tonight's event, you can get yourself some iRacing Fantasy National Series merchandise. If you head on over to the V-Speed shop, you can use code FANTASY5 and save $5 off your purchase of $10 or more at vspeedsim.com/shop. And a portion of the sale of either the hat or the t-shirt will contribute directly back into the series here and continue to fund their activities. So you can support V-Speed, support the league, and support the iRacing community. Just head on over there, get yourself some awesome merchandise, and that code can be used on any item in the store over $10. And once again, tonight's race is brought to you by V-Speed. We're live here on Twitch right now. We post our race replays over on YouTube, so check us out on that platform. Consider following and subscribing here tonight on Twitch. We've already had a couple subscriptions. We want to thank everybody who's supported us thus far. And following is free if you're enjoying the action. You want to stay up to date with what we're doing, you can click the notification icon as well, and you'll get emails or texts or whatever when we go live. You can also check us out on Facebook, where we announce each and every race before it's broadcast. And also on Instagram and Twitter, where we post special event announcements as well as new merchandise in the shop. So check us out on those platforms at VSpeedSim. Meanwhile, in the front of the field, it's Dylan Canova continuing to lead here now. Has led 53 laps and going to lead another one if he at least gets to the line before Jeffrey Meyer. But he is locked up most laps led tonight. Looking for a victory here in this race. He is not a playoff contender, but has run very strongly here this season. Canova coming out of turn 4, a good jump there, and the 8 machine looks like he had trouble getting through the gears. Now Longacre on the outside, gonna try and challenge for that second position. Longacre not able to make it happen. Jeffrey Meyer powers back on by down low. Gonna try and close the door, and he will hang on to that second spot. Now Chris James challenging for third underneath Longacre. Almost contact as Chris James has to back out of it. Here comes Cody Jordan with a big run out of the corner, but Alexis stayed behind the number 1 machine. Back here, Jake Sylvia racing it up. Chad Ginnigsman now back up inside the top 10, like I thought would happen. He was challenging for 9th there, but elects to stay behind the 23 and wait for mistakes from these drivers up in front of him. Ginnigsman a big run there down the front straightaway, but still going to stay in line. Now Jake Queen racing it up with Cole Hooper. The 14 touches the apron again. Now the 6 on the apron. He's going to hit the inside wall, try and hang on to it. He drifts up the track, and no caution yet. We stay green here. Jake Queen, though, a big problem down the back straightaway. And one of your drivers not too far above the cut line. He came in the 7th position, just about 9 points above the cut line, so loses a bunch of positions there. We'll see what happens if he can catch back up to these guys, but that 6 machine damaged and way behind. Well, Evan Longacre still up here riding in 3rd. Chris James was not able to put enough pressure on him. And the top 4 have somewhat broken away from Cody Jordan back here in the 5th spot. So we are now coming to 30 laps to go. Time is running out here as Aaron Tyner almost making contact with the wall. That checks him up big time. The 19 machine of Sullivan able to slip on past. And now Gregory, a big charge behind the 60. Not able to make it work. He'll ride the high line here and try and get the run out of turn 4. The 60 down low. Here comes the 38. Big head of steam, and he's going to go to the outside now as the 60 wiggled and went down low. With the 38 going to lose all that time on entry, only to gain that and more on exit. Now the 60 going to give him plenty of space, and Roger Gregory makes it right on past to take over the 7th position. Chad Ginnigsman was able to slip past Jake Sylvia, so he moves into 9th and sets his sights up forward here to Aaron Tyner. And Ginnigsman starting to move forward once again. That car, after about 5 laps, he said it starts to loosen up for him as the tire pressures build, so he gets a little bit more grip. And he's really closing in on Tyner, his teammate there. He's going to dive down to the inside here in turn 1. And I think he's just going to take that. Teammate's just going to let him go. And Ginnigsman now up to the 8th position. As looks like the 42 machine maybe off the pace. Calvin Vanderhyde, an issue down in turns 1 and 2. Oh, he had a big slide going. Racing it up with Steven Parks, the 77 there. But Vanderhyde just loses it on entry and hangs on to it though. Wow, he was really sideways twice, but no caution. So we are now on 25 to go at the line this time. Canova out in front by 1 second ahead of Jeffrey Meyer, who is now feeling the pressure of his teammate Chris James, who's been lurking here now 3/10 behind. Evan Longacre has fallen back. Evan Longacre coming in here 6th in points. He is a decent gap above the cut line. So he's had a good run tonight and is probably going to be plenty safe no matter where he finishes at this point. Roger Gregory needs a good run here tonight. He comes in 10th in points, and he's run very well throughout this race, but he's currently 7th. Probably wants to get a couple more just to make it close. And the drivers on the cut line tonight, that was Rick Webb, Greg Klein, and they have had miserable races. Rick Webb back here in 18th, last driver on the lead lap. Also Jay Queen just above him, back here in 20th position, 2 laps off the pace. And then Cole Early in a must-win scenario, he is out of the event, finishing in 24th tonight, and Greg Klein is going to finish in 25th. So those drivers probably not going to be able to make it in here to round number 2. So that makes it a little bit easier for the drivers near the cut line, but Gregory still has a shot at it if he can finish well. He is now closing in on the back bumper of Cody Jordan. That 35 machine starting to struggle on the long run. And the 38 has a bead locked on him here. Big run out of the corner. That 38's been pretty good out of turn 4. And the 35 continuing to struggle as the run goes on. Let's see the difference in lines here. Is Gregory a big run out of the corner one more time. He's now a car length behind. And the 35 running that middle line, but Gregory hooking the low line here. 35 just getting tight, not able to make that corner. Here the 38 back out of it. Give plenty of space. He's going to time his run here. Try and time his pass to a more convenient spot. But in second now, we've had a change. Chris James takes over that spot from his teammate Jeffrey Meyer. Chris James locked into round 2. He won last week and looking for another victory. And was pretty quick last time by, but he's got 1.4 seconds to make up on Canova. We'll see if he can do it here with time starting to run out. Meanwhile, this battle's still really hot and heavy. The 38 tags the wall a little bit as he was looking to the outside, and he's going to try and give room now to Jake Queen, who's on brand new tires. And they should all be able to make it on fuel and tires. I don't see any issues with that. That 38 machine now losing a little bit of ground as he's going to have to try and chase down the 35 one more time. And he's got Ginningsman starting to close in on him as well. We've got full-size Ford in chat cheering for Cole Hooper, driver of the number 14 machine in 12th position. Cole Hooper up a few spots from where he started. Good run going here. He's hung on to it quite a few times, being down on the apron. As we are rapidly closing this race off, going to be 10 to go here in just a few laps. Dylan Canova has dominated, 74 laps led, now 75 as he comes across the start-finish line. 75 out of the 86 that have been run. Chris James going to try and challenge him here if he can, but he's losing a bit of ground. 1.6 seconds behind the leader. 1.7 now. As Canova still setting a blistering pace, 23.7. Faster than anybody on track by a tenth or so. That time 23.86 from Canova, and second fastest on track was Jeffrey Meyer, 23.96. So nobody has anything to challenge the 39 with. Meanwhile, Grayson Sullivan peeking to the inside of Evan Longacre for 4th and 5th. Not going to make it happen that time, and Cody Jordan has gotten away from Roger Gregory, who's not able to close back in. Everybody doing a good job here, no issues see the 17 is a bit off pace. That's Noah Allison. Just letting drivers by as he is 2 laps down. Hilton Young here on the tail end of the lead lap. We might be able to see the leader from behind. That is Canova back there about 4 seconds behind. And Young just trying to finish on the lead lap here. Now 10 laps to go. Canova out in front, 2 seconds the gap between Chris James and himself. And Jeffrey Meyer right there behind James as these two battle it out for runner-up. And it's looking like Canova on his way, but Jeffrey Meyer, big wiggle out of the corner. He hangs on to it. Oh, and Roger Gregory with an issue. Oh, he starts coming down pit road. Not sure what happened there. He got on the apron, ran real sideways. Able to hang on to it, though. But he gave up quite a few spots, and he comes down pit road. He's going to be 16th, 17th. And I'm not sure if these guys have to pit. They've been out there for 30 laps. But I would not expect they have to pit. Roger Gregory going to go at least 1 lap down, maybe 2. He's not even in his box yet. That is disaster for the 38, who's looking like he can make it. Now caution out. The number 13 machine. Now who is that? Hilton Young. That car is destroyed. And bad timing for Roger Gregory. Not sure why he came down. That could have just ended his shot at leading in round number 2. We're going to take a look here at what happened to Hilton Young. I'm not sure. It looks like maybe a technical issue as he just drove straight up into the wall. And able to get going again. Maybe he had a computer or steering wheel issue. But also disastrous for the 13 who was trying to hang on to the tail end of the lead lap. He's going to drop to 16th. We'll see if the 38 gets a lucky dog here, or at least take a wave around. Does not look like he is going to get the lucky dog. Rick Webb going to get the lucky dog. Another playoff contender here who came in that 8th and final spot. He only had a 2-point cushion over Greg Klein, who's out. And Roger Gregory was back there about 11 points back, but now Gregory behind the 59. Coming off of pit road, Chris James wins the battle. Dylan Canova, tragedy, he comes out 3rd. That is not good for 39 of Canova. He's not going to have too many laps to make it up, but that car has been so quick. Chris James looking for back-to-back victories, and he's going to have a big advantage restarting as the leader. Not a good stop from the 39 crew, a 15.2 second stop, and that cost him the lead. After leading 83 laps here tonight, it's going to come down to just a handful here at the end, and if he can power his way by the 8 and the 1, he's going to have to try and do so to capture the victory, but Chris James in a very good spot. Chad Ginningsman now moves up to the 7th position, so he has found his way back up here solidly in the top 10. So good job by the number 16 machine. We're just waiting for the pace car to get out of the way here. These guys probably going to get the 1 to go on the next lap. And that'll give us a 3-lap shootout when we go green. So this will get pretty interesting, I think. But shout out in chat who you think is going to win tonight's race here. The iRacing Fantasy National Series round 1 of the playoffs. This is the cut race. So drivers having issues late in the running here. Roger Gregory now 1 lap down, and he's going to have to hope for at least 1 or 2 more cautions before this thing's all said and done to have any shot at possibly making it in. He's going to get the wave around here, but still going to be 1 lap down. He was 2 laps down before he takes this. Pace car lights are off. 38 on his way back around. Chris James, which lane is he going to pick? Luis Lopez says Chris James is going to win. We will have to wait and find out. Anything can happen here with, it's going to be a 3-lap shootout. His teammate Jeffrey Meyer has been very quick tonight, really been up in the top 2 or 3 the entire race. And then the fastest car on track, that 39 machine, now shuffled back farther than he's been this entire event into 3rd. Up on his outside is going to be Grayson Sullivan. That 19 machine has recovered nicely after making a bit of contact, I think, for the first caution on lap 2. That was, he was involved in that one. But he has a shot to take a win here, as well as pace car heads onto pit road now. Chris James gets him going early. The 8 machine down low. And the 39 machine, not a great jump. We are back underway. This should be the last restart. We'll see if Canova can find his way forward. That 39 machine's so quick, but he's got to make it by 2 cars now as the 19 machine of Sullivan slots in front of him. And I know the 19 is going to be aggressive in trying to hang on here. The 39 drifts up the track and rides down low. You look at that run out of the corner. That thing is hooked up tonight. He goes to the inside now. 2 to go. The 39 taking over 3rd position. Jeffrey Meyer going to try and hang on for 2nd here, but Chris James well out in front, 4/10 of a second. And Canova now going to try and charge down low. Now he drifts up high. He's going to pull the same move as he did on the 19, but he loses a lot of ground in doing so that time by. And white flag in the air. Chris James, your leader. They're starting to reel him back in, but Canova not made up the ground that I thought he might have. And it looks like Chris James is going to be on his way to a victory. It looks like Cody Jordan with an issue. Also the 14 of Hooper and Stephen Parks also caught up. 42 machine caught up in this. And Chris James coming out of turn 4 is going to win the race. Chris James goes back-to-back here in the iRacing Fantasy National Series. Winning 2 in a row in round number 1. Jeffrey Meyer 2nd. Dylan Canova couldn't get back to the front. He finishes in 3rd. Chris James getting a congratulatory bump there from his teammate Jeffrey Meyer. Will come away your winner here at the Monster Mile. Exciting finish for these guys, and the number 1 machine finishes in the number 1 position. As quite a few drivers trying to make their way past, and the number 1 machine, Chris James, does his celebratory burnout here. A little contact there with the rapid-fired pizza machine, but nonetheless, Chris James coming away your winner here tonight. We're going to cut quickly to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with our post-race interviews. And we are back. We're going to be bringing up our winner here tonight in just a second. Let's get a word in with him.
Can do.
Chris James, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Adam. What's going on?
Not too much, but you put on quite a show out there, winning 2 in a row, and you were locked into round 2 of the playoffs. How'd you get it done here tonight?
To be honest, I didn't expect to be even talking to you tonight. I was just already being locked in. I just wanted to go out there and run a clean, consistent race. Screwed up in qual, started at the back, and honestly, I was looking forward to congratulating Dylan on his win. To be honest with you, because he was gone.
Yeah, I think we were all expecting the 39 to grab the victory here tonight, but we saw speed from those junior motorsports cars, and we talked to your teammate earlier about the work that you guys put in this week. So obviously it did pay off here tonight.
Yep. Practice and guys in the shop put together a good car this week, so can't complain. I'm not going to complain about a win. It just sucks for Dylan.
Yeah, it's tough because he did dominate here and probably had the car to win, but pit
Absolutely.
stops determined everything, and sometimes that's what it comes down to. So
is that what it was? Did I beat him off pit because of a pit stop?
it showed a 15.2 for him in his box, and you beat him by about 0.7 of a second. And I guess maybe maybe you got into your box a little better, but overall it was, you had a little bit faster stop, and that might have made the difference. But we're not totally sure.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, so it was close either way, and you were still in contention. You were up there in the top 3, and your crew really made it happen for you. So.
Yeah, at the beginning, when I was around Jeffrey, I was trying not to battle him too much, and having to battle, I think it was Roger and Evan. It's at some point, so burned up some tires and doing that, but had fun.
Yeah, it was a fun event here tonight. Not too many cautions. I think I expected more because it can be a pretty tricky track. But next week in a couple weeks we go to Kansas to start round number 2. So what are your thoughts on going out there?
I love it. Can't wait. Let's go to Kansas.
Yeah, 2 wins in a row. You got to be feeling confident.
Well, and also when Kansas ranks up there, probably one of the top 5 tracks for me. So I'm excited for Kansas. Hopefully I can lock ourselves into home state early. That's the plan.
Yeah, 10-4. We'll have to see if you can make it 3 in a row in a couple weeks here. But before we let you go to celebrate tonight's victory, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my teammates, Junior Motorsports. Shout out to V-Speed in the booth, Shorba's iRacing Paints, Alpha Ornamental Metals, and Rapid Fire Pizza. Need to go get me some sometime.
Yeah, it makes me hungry every time I watch those ads. But congratulations there, Chris. 2 in a row. Go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. That was your winner here tonight. It looks like we just got a follower. Thank you for following there, old Billy Big Rig. Thank you for supporting V-Speed. We're going to bring up our second place finisher tonight, Jeffrey Meyer, Chris James' teammate. See if we can pull him up here. Jeffrey Meyer, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Jeffrey, you finished right where you pretty much ran the whole race, but it was a different car out in front. And your teammate there, Chris James, you think you had any shot at beating him there in that 3-lap shootout at the end?
Not in a 3-lap shootout. The leader controls a start, so he gets such a good jump, and it's tough to get that back in just a couple laps.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's also hard, I think, from my experience, to put the grip down on this racetrack on restarts. So, were you having trouble with tire spin or anything? Because you were consistently the guy on the front row who wasn't in control. But you made the best of it, I think, in most scenarios. But were you struggling with that at all?
Yeah, there was a lot of tire spin at the start. You really had to watch the gas when you took off, because there was tire spin. I heard guys talking about starting in first gear, and it's like, I'm spinning my ass off in second gear.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you can even spin them in third here, I think, if you're on older tires. So, yeah, I mean, you did a good job on those restarts. You were pretty much always able to stay in second place. and hold off those guys behind you who maybe had an advantage on time in the leader. But anyways, you come out of here second. You did lead 11 laps. You were up in the top 3, I think, the entire race. I don't think you ever dropped below third. So that's got to be a confidence booster.
Yeah, it's been fun subbing for Tater here in the 8 car. Like to keep up the good finishes.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. We are going to be going to Kansas in a couple weeks. And do you think you'll be filling in then, or do you expect to be running out there for that race?
Yeah, I think I might. The guys might have me subbing the rest of the season. I'm not sure, but I think that's what we're talking about.
What are your thoughts on going out there?
Should be fun. Just not my favorite track, but I've been good there.
Yeah, it's one of the more interesting 1.5 miles, I think, where you run the high line as like the primary line, or at least you used to. I'm not sure, exactly what the conditions are going to be to determine which line's the best, but it should be a good race, and we look forward to seeing if you can, follow up on this second place with a win, or at least, another solid top 3. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you out there, and until then, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I got to give a shout out to my teammates having me on, and we all try to help each other out. And shout out to Fantasy Racing League for putting this on. It's been good. And before you asked me what my favorite pizza topping was, and I changed my mind. It's sauerkraut.
Well, that's a different one. That's for sure. I mean, I like sauerkraut. I don't know about pizza with sauerkraut. So
Oh, it's awesome.
I'll have to give it a try. I'll take your word for it.
Sauerkraut, pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, onion. Oh, yummy.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it. Anyways, congratulations on the second place run here, Jeffrey. We will catch up with you in a couple weeks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. That was your second place finisher. Third place was Dylan Canova. Let's see if we can pull him up here. Dylan Canova, Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Dylan, probably not the result that you were looking for here. Just such a dominant race car all night. What happened there on pit road that put you behind?
If we're being honest, I kind of let my frustrations boil over and just wasn't really paying attention and just stopped a couple feet short of the bottom. And the rest is history.
Yeah, we weren't sure if it was just a long stop because it showed a 15.2 versus, those other guys had like 14-something second stops. And I didn't know if that was going to be the difference, but you did come out clearly well behind them. But sometimes, yeah, that is all the difference. And your car was great out here. And, what do you think you were doing differently that allowed you to just continuously pull away throughout those green flag runs?
I struggled pretty much all week in practice and even practice leading up to it. And I kind of threw a dart and hoped it hit and made a last minute adjustment and it seemed to work. And I think the biggest difference, I was kind of rolling the corners a little bit higher than everybody else, so kind of diamonding them a little bit more. And a lot of the guys around me were entering on the bottom and exiting on the bottom. And I think they were just getting so tight they were snapping loose on the long run. It just kind of let me keep driving away and save the tires on it.
Yeah, 10-4, you were definitely the fastest guy out there, especially on those long runs. You'd be pulling away a tenth or two every lap, and we didn't think anybody was going to have any shot. So obviously a badly timed caution there, put you behind, but you still come away with the top 3. And we're going to Kansas in a couple weeks, so what are your thoughts on going out there?
I'm excited. We ran good at Vegas, had a second lead with 10 to go, and it happens again tonight, and almost 2.5 second lead. So, and the mishap at Richmond that's behind us. We had a fast car there, and I missed the roval, but I'm excited. We've been cracking off some really good finishes and some really fast race cars. So, I'm hoping to maybe shake this bug that's following me.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time until you get one of these. You've been running so strongly pretty much the entire time we've been broadcasting, so we'll see if you can finally get it done there. But you come away third place tonight, leading 83 of the 100 laps, so definitely a lot to be proud of, even without capturing the victory. But anybody you want to thank for tonight's third place run?
Yeah, I gotta thank Roger. He kind of kept me from blowing up in race chat. I was kind of blowing up on Team Discord and that last caution. Gotta thank AOD Racing. They've been helping me with the setups, and obviously it's working. We're unloading some really fast race cars, and gotta give a shout out to 4Balls Only for backing me in all this. Just gotta thank everybody for watching, sticking around. You guys are the reason we do it. So we'll go on to Kansas and see if we can't park it there.
Yeah, 10-4. We look forward to see if you can finally get the monkey off your back and capture a victory there. But congratulations on tonight's run. Not the win, but still an incredible run by you out here tonight. So go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Thank you, Adam.
That was third place finisher Dylan Canova. Dominating performance by him, but just a pit stop mistake in the end is what cost him. So your winner tonight ended up being Chris James, as we see him T-boned there by his teammate Jeffrey Meyer on the screen. But great run by those two Junior Motorsports machines, coming out 1-2. And then their other teammate, Dakota Jorgensen, comes away with a 7th place run here tonight. So good run by him as well. But we want to just take a quick look at the results tonight. And we're also going to look back at the playoff picture here before we get out of the race. So coming away, your winner tonight was Chris James. In 2nd place, his teammate, Jeffrey Meyer. 3rd place was Dylan Canova, your pole sitter, and dominating performance by him. 4th place was Grayson Sullivan. 5th place was Evan Longacre. 6th place, Chad Ginnigsman, so a nice solid run for him, and figured he would find his way back up inside the top 10. 7th place was Dakota Jorgensen. 8th place, Jake Sylvia. 9th place was Aaron Tyner, and 10th place was Charles Hager. So a good run by that number 10 machine to come away here with a top 10 position. In 11th, it was Cole Hooper, the number 14 machine. I think he got caught up in that last lap incident. Barry Stevens finishing in 12th position. 13th was Rick Webb, and I think that might be enough for him to make it into the playoffs. We'll have to find out here, see if they've posted the points yet. 4th place was Cody Jordan. 6th place was Calvin Vanderhyde. 16th was Stephen Parks. 17th was Roger Gregory, who was below the cut line and looking for a solid run here. He made a mistake or had an issue late and had to come down pit road, putting him 1 lap off the pace, and he was up inside the top 10, looking like he was on his way to making round number 2, but we'll have to wait and find out as the points get figured out here. Noah Allison finishing in 18th. 19th was Jay Queen, and 20th, Hilton Young. In 21st position, it was Brandon Masajewski. 21st was Joshua Schofield. 22nd was Brandon Masajewski. It's mixed up on our results up there. 23rd was Zach Adams. 24th, Cole Early, who was in a must-win scenario and exited this race early, you could say. 25th was Greg Klein. 26th was Tyler White. 27th, Austin Gacchione. 28th, Carl Dodson. 29th, Jim Walton. And rounding out the starters here tonight was Alan Hunt in 30th position. And that does it for our results tonight. Let's pull up our points scenario. So this was, that is the Cup Series points. This is the National Series points. So this is the standings as they came into the race. And with Greg Klein finishing in 25th, I think that's going to be enough to knock him out. Roger Gregory ended up in 17th, so it might be enough for him to get in. He may have earned enough stage points. We'll have to see here. Rick Webb, though, finishing in 13th, just a few points or positions up in front of him. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. Jake Queen here finishing in 19th, so he's going to be towards the cut line. Evan Longacre came out of here in 5th place. Chad Ginnigsman with 6th place run, so those two easily locked in here. Grayson Sullivan finished in 4th after a nice solid comeback. He started off a little bit rough, but finished in that 4th position on track. Dakota Jorgensen 7th. Carl Dodson had an interesting race here as well. Where did Carl Dodson finishing 28th. So not a good run for that number 7 machine. He did start off pretty solid there, but not the finish he wants. And we'll see where he shuffles out in the points. But I'm going to see if they have the standings up. It looks like we do have the top 8 figured out, and the 4 that are going to be eliminated. Looks like Roger Gregory missing it by 1 point because of that last few laps. He drops out by 1 point. Rick Webb going to hang on there and finish in the 8th points in standings here in round number 1, so he will transfer. But Greg Klein, Tater Bowman, and Cole Early all knocked out as well. So the bottom 4 as they came in are the bottom 4 to also leave. So no change in the top 8 as you see on your screen from how they entered tonight's race. So that's going to be what we've got going on going into the next race at Kansas in 2 weeks. So stick around with us for that next race. Only a handful of races left till the championship finale at Homestead. Tomorrow night we're going to be right back here at Dover with the Cup Series, the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, presented by Alpha Ornamental Metals. So tune in tomorrow night at the same time to check out that event right here on V-Speed. We were live tonight on Twitch. You can also check out race replays over on YouTube, posted about a week after they have gone live here. So give us a like or follow on either of those platforms if you feel inclined to. Also consider subscribing. It helps support us and allows us to bring you great racing content throughout the week. Also check us out on Facebook, where we post announcements before each and every race. And also check us out on Instagram and Twitter, where we also post race announcements, special announcements, as well as new merchandise. So we want to thank you all for tuning in, for the likes, follows, subscribes here tonight. It means a whole lot, and it helps us to continue bringing you great content. And tonight's race, of course, the Dover 100 presented by Rapid Fired Pizza. I want to thank these guys for putting on this great event here tonight. So check out Rapid Fired Pizza. We'll put their info in the chat one more time. You can also check out Shorba's iRacing Paints, another sponsor here. See if you can get your own custom race scheme from Shorba's iRacing Paints. Professional paint schemes at an affordable price. So head on over to Facebook, check those guys out as well. So we want to thank you for tuning in here tonight. If you enjoyed, once again, please consider following, donating, or subscribing. Don't forget to check out those guys that we just put in the chat, those sponsors. So we'll be back tomorrow night. And until then, have a good night.